Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Elizabeth and I share deck flip throughs, spreads, VRs, and so much more. Today we're going to recap the month of July. I found July to be the perfect month for coming back to my center. The past few months had been very, very busy. April, May, and June were whirlwinds, and it was kind of nice to have this space to come back to myself. And here we are, end of the month. I thought we could recap, and I think what I'll do is start with journals. This month, Ramon from the Moon Scareb channel partnered with Rochelle over at Amethyst Ascension for the Divine Masculine. And it's been pretty awesome to follow along the series. But I was particularly inspired by week 2. The topic or the theme for the month of July was divine masculine, but I was really taken by this particular week. This was week 2, and I found myself thinking about doing a better job at discerning what's mine to actually hold, carry, and lift. And I find maybe because of being the head of the household, a single mom, that I find this need to kind of hold, carry, and lift everything for everyone at all times. And so this was just, it's something that I had been giving a lot of thought to. And so I really appreciated this space to be able to just, sit with it and explore it a little bit more. Something that I took away from the video was being able to respond to situations with clarity and calm as opposed to, emotional outbursts. And instead of rushing into situations and asking, what I need to do or how I can fix things, maybe instead asking, how can I best support you? And so this was pretty awesome. I used my mermaid tarot for this and I had a little bit of fun, drawing out the pillars because that was the theme for week 2, was the pillar. So thank you so much to Ramon and Rochelle for putting this together. It was really awesome. The other journal I'll share is, of course, my Year of the Hermit. This is a guided journal. If you've never seen this before, this year is the Year of the Hermit, and I have been working through this book on a day-to-day basis. And I found July to be pretty special. So the theme was the cloak, protection, boundaries, and restoration. And going through this month, looking at some of the questions, I was discovering just how much more education I felt like I needed on some of these subjects. So there were a lot of times that I had to stop and do a little bit of research before I could actually, go through and answer the questions. So the theme for the month of July was the cloak. And we can see here they're referring to the cloak of the hermit being more than just a garment, but actually a symbol of protection, boundaries, and restoration. Now I'll turn over here. Here, for example, one of the questions was, how can I recognize when my protective factors need to be replenished? I found myself wondering, protective factor, what is that? And so I just did a little bit of research, and I'll try to bring this up a little bit more. But key protective factors, So this would be things like strong social support, positive self esteem and self worth, effective coping strategies, stable family environment. Those were the ones that kind of stood out to me. And so this was really helpful for me because once you identify what your factors are, then you know more or less what you can do to help replenish when you're feeling depleted in some of these areas. So that was pretty cool. And then over here, we had, let's see, what helps me create sustainable emotional release practices? And I was like, emotional release practices. I envisioned in my head more or less what that could mean, but I, wanted to do a little bit of extra research, and I really resonated with the things that came up. So, breath work, something that I am such a huge fan of, is doing breath work. And I find for me that it's really helpful to count my breaths. One of my favorite ones is just as simple as counting to four for the inhale and then counting four for the exhale. And then here, somatic tracking or body scans. I really like these kinds of meditations, and I find I find that when I do these meditations, I end up falling asleep a lot of times. So, it's better if you're gonna do a body scan, try to do it in the morning so you don't fall asleep. But some of the other suggestions were expressive arts like painting, movement, vocal journaling, which I thought was interesting because I do quite a bit of that myself. Guided visualizations, nature therapy, and EFT, or tapping, which is something that I really, really like. And, I don't know that I always follow the proper, tapping procedures and repeat all the things at all the right times, but I do enjoy tapping on different pulse points especially during like a meditation. I find it to be very helpful, but also very grounding. Like, it's a practice that helps me come back to myself. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun learning more about things that we can do to better protect ourselves when it comes to our emotional space. So, great month in the Year of the Hermit journal. Now, if you remember, I was reading To Shape a Dragon's Breath, and I am actually very close to finishing. However, I paused. I did not touch the book the entire month, even though this is literally all I have left. You know why? Because the sequel doesn't come out until 2026. Oh my gosh, I'm so sad about that. And, of course, this doesn't make any sense at all, but I was like, oh, I'll postpone, reading the ending a little bit longer so I don't have to wait as long to get the second book. But, either way, it's going to be a wait. It is what it is. But it has been a really great book, and I would recommend it. It's a great read. But yeah, I've spent zero time in books. These are some of the last books that I have picked up here recently: Feral Witch and Girl Mess. And I have not had any time to sit with any of these or do any work. Okay, goals. Goals. This will be for August, maybe August goals. Switching gears a little bit, I have two collaborations for the month of July that were really cool. I had the opportunity to work with Ramon from the Moon Scareb channel on my archetype series. And so we partnered to film The Lovers, and that was a very awesome experience. I'm excited about that video, and I can't wait for everyone to see that. And then the other thing that I did was a deck swap. So my dear friend Desiree reached out and said, "You know what would be so cool if we swapped decks?" And I was just like, "Oh, that's amazing. Yes, let's do it." And so that's what we did. So the first one here, Lucid Minds Tarot. This deck is awesome. It's so pretty. Now, look at those amazing card backs. It's like so cool. The art in this deck is stunning. And I think what it is about this deck is those blues. The blues in here are so phenomenal, and a lot of the cards are just, I don't know, they're really well done. They're very different, and it's a photography deck filmed out in a desert, and it's just awesome. I find myself getting lost in the images, and this has been a great deck, and I really enjoyed um, going through this deck. Now, I've had very limited time with these decks because this is something that we just recently did, but I will be working with these decks in the month of August, so you can expect to see these featured in upcoming videos. So that is the Lucid Minds Tarot. The second deck is the Ehrenberg Tarot. Now, I'm pretty sure I had heard about this deck, but I had never actually seen it, and I was pleasantly surprised. So here's the card backs, and this has an interesting color palette, right? Like there's a lot of colors, but it's soft. um I don't know, there's something about the deck. I think what I really like is how close up these images are, and it's funny because that's not for everyone, right? That has been the feedback for like decks, for example, like the Morgan Greer or the Tarot of the Hidden Realms. A lot of people felt like the artwork was maybe too close up, and this tends to be that way. But I really like it, and I think it reads well. It's been pleasant. It's very RWS friendly. It's a cool deck. So this is one that I will also be working with. What a cool death card. Yeah, another one that I'll be working with in the month of August. It even feels weird to say August. August. Tarot of the Sweet Twilight. This is a deck that I have always been curious about. This is the Los Scarabeo deck, the title card. Here's the card backs. And this deck is just weird, but like intriguing at the same time. Like it's just super cool. Super cool. I'm gonna be working. I'm looking forward to getting the vibe of this deck because it's just weird, man. It's different. It's different. I don't have anything like this. I think the only thing that kind of come close to this is the like my Cirque tarot. The theme is completely different, but maybe like the colors or the weirdness of the image. I don't know. I mean, look at this. It's just out there. It's just out there. So yeah, I'm excited to try this. I feel like this is such an awesome way to try decks, because you get to see if it is something that you can, work with, relate to, or if it's just not meant to be. This deck here, Glimmer Walker Tarot. I have always been low-key obsessed with this deck. I talk to Desiree about this deck all the time because it's amazing. I've had this deck in my cart on and off for the past couple of months. There's the card backs. It's just so cool. And I've really enjoyed going through this. Um, it just goes to show when you're moved from the inside, right? When you listen to your higher self and you're moved towards a deck, there's a reason for that. Because once I had this in my hands, I knew that I had to get this deck. I just knew it. It's so cool. And in this one, all the suits have been renamed, and there's, this really cool story of these glimmer walkers. If you are the type of person that takes the time to like stop and read the guidebook, which I always love to do, I like to get to know all the little stories because that's what creates all the little nuances of, actually using the deck. So it's a lot of fun. It's very cool, and I am looking forward to using this deck. I mean, I'm looking forward to using all the decks that she sent. I don't know what else to say. They're amazing. So that's the Glimmer Walker. And lastly, we have this deck here, which is going to be very hard to see, but it's called the True Black. Now, you may have seen this before. This is a very cool deck, and this deck is very near and dear to Desiree. And so that she thought to send it to me is just so special. So, so special. It's gorgeous. Um, it's difficult to see. It has this, can you see that? Oh my God, it shows up so good. It looks amazing. So those are the card backs. But if you look at it like this, it just looks black. And all of the cards have little things like that. So let's see. I'll flip through some of the cards. Desiree speaks very, very highly of this deck. She adores it. And I have been very precious with it. Originally, I was like, I can't. I could feel her energy. You guys, I could feel her energy in these decks. And, this deck and the um, Lucid Minds Tarot, like those decks are fully bonded to her. And, they didn't want me. They didn't want me in the picture. They didn't. I felt them. They energetically repelled me. I got sick for 2 days after handling them. And then I just tried to slowly bridge the gap and work with them, and handle them with love and care. And Lucid Dreams is ready for me now. And I have to do the same with this deck here. So, yeah, this is the True Black. And actually, I wanted to show you because that spot gloss is also a technique that was used in all of the majors. Now, this is a deck that I have to, get used to, but you can see. So here's the death card. You can't see the title, but it actually says it. Now I'm gonna see if I can get it. Can you see that? So each major has spot gloss on it that tells a story for that particular card. It's super cool. I don't know if the court cards have it. No, the court cards don't have it, but here's the moon. How cool is that? And let me see if I can pick it up. It's hard on camera, but yeah, it's an interesting deck. And yeah, like I said, these are gonna be the decks that I work with in the month of August. So uh, she and I have some lives planned where we are gonna be featuring these decks, and I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. For new decks, I have one, and it's the Pocket Archetypes. This deck is just the cutest thing ever. Look at that guidebook. Teeny tiny. I've already started to mark off all the different sections. Uh, all the information from the guidebook is in this little booklet. It's amazing. Same card backs as the original deck, except it fits. right there in the palm of your hand. So it's a teeny one. So let me bring it up for you and just kind of show you, um, some of the cards. They're just cool. I'm sure you've seen these before. I have been itching to get this deck, especially when I was working or starting the archetype series, and and then recently I saw someone talk about this deck, and they mentioned that they were using it for inner child work. And I just felt like, you know what, I just need to do it. And I was stuck for the longest time because I wanted the small deck with the large guidebook, which of course is not possible. At the end of the day, you have to get both. You just do. It just is what it is. So for now, I'm going to be working with the deck. I want to take this one slow. I'm going to study this one, and then I'd like to do like maybe a card a week and just get to know it, get to know the energy, and really just take my time with it. Um, it's super cool. It's a deck I swear it's been in my cart for at least 2 years. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to work with it and get to know it and explore. It's just gorgeous. Look at that. Beautiful. So that was the newest deck to my collection. This cardstock is amazing. I love it. Decks that I have been working with. Well, there aren't very many actually. I have two tarot decks, believe it or not, and the rest are Oracle. You know why? Because all my decks are in a complete disarray. All my decks are all over the place. Cards have been pulled out of everywhere because why? Because the archetype series. So it is what it is. I'm just working with one deck a month. Well, two, because I have this was my working deck, and this is the Mermaid Tarot. And I actually used this in June, and then I felt like I needed more time with it, so I rolled it right into July. And I have really enjoyed getting to know this deck, and I went ahead and edged it, and it's gorgeous. I love it. But yeah, this deck has been amazing, really awesome to work with, and this is what I use for the bulk of my readings. I mean, the only other deck that I would say that I used would be my soul deck, because that's what I use for the Hermit Journal. But yeah, this was my deck of the month, and it was awesome. So that is the Mermaid Tarot. The other deck is going to be my Tarot of Mystical Moments. Like, I'm pretty sure I talk about this deck all the darn time, but I love it. This is a soul deck for me. And this is the deck that I have been using every day with my Hermit Journal. I love it. It's very special to me. It reads in a very special way, or I don't know what it is. With this deck, I feel like I could just let my hair down and forget about everything and just read what I see. A lot of times I don't even look at the title. I just love it. I feel like this lets me lean into my intuition in a really awesome way, and I adore it. I mean, look at that Queen of Wands. She's everything. Oh, yeah. So this is my special deck that I keep in my special bag. Look at that. So cool with the fireflies. Yeah. Most of my work, like I said, has been with Oracle decks. So I have been working with this one, Heavenly Bodies Astrology. This one, it's still in order, because I don't use this, like I don't shuffle and pull cards from this. I use this to lay out cards, to try to help me understand my chart a little bit more. So if there are any challenges that I'm working through, any energies, or I have a particular sign in a particular house and it has a direct um, impact on how I'm living my day to day, then I pull it out and I, explore it further. And the deck is, super awesome. It gives you, all the cards for the houses, for the signs, for everything. And then each card gives you a keyword. Actually three, if you look at it. See, look, we're in Leo season right now: self-confident, loyalty, and creativity. So it gives you all of those, and then you have your elementals here, which is great. And then here we have conjunction, opposition, trine. So, if somebody says, oh, I have a trine in my chart, and you're like, oh, what does that mean? Then you can take a look and see angelic support, harmony, perfect flow. So it's really awesome. It gives you all the different signs, the nodes, of course, the sun and the moon, yin and yang, and then a card for each of the planets. So this deck has been awesome as a learning deck, which is how I use it. I just pull the cards out and I set it on my altar and I just explore, explore the energies. So that is the Heavenly Bodies astrology deck. The other deck I attempted to work with was Soulflower. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you know that I struggle with this type of deck, right? I struggle with plant decks. I struggle with flower decks. I struggle with animal decks. This is my only flower deck in my collection. And I like absolutely love the artwork. I love that it gives you the information right here. You don't need to go to the guidebook, but you have it if you need it, which is very, very cool. I attempted to use this as a card of the week. So that's what I've been doing with this deck for the month of July. And it's just okay. I mean, for me, it's just okay. It, I don't know. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, but it's just, I wouldn't use it again for a weekly card pull. So, but look at that hydrangea transmutation. So, so beautiful. So, yeah, it's a gorgeous deck, and I struggle to let it go, but then I struggle to find ways to use it. So, yeah, I gave it a shot. Soulflower, Plant Spirit Oracle. The other deck that I tried is Feminine Wisdom. This one is new to my collection. I did try it as a weekly card pull, but it wasn't working for me. So I like packed it up right away and just set it aside. I mean, the artwork in this deck is cool. And I like that you have your keyword and then it gives you some additional words at the bottom of the card. I think it's beautiful. I think it's stunning. It pairs well with a lot of decks. Um, I don't know. It didn't work in that way, but I'm not done with it. I'll just try it in a different way. But yeah, that is my feminine wisdom oracle. In July, I've been using this deck here. This is my Dream Ritual Oracle cards. And last month, I used the Hero's Journey, and I had an amazing time with that deck. And this is going to be weird. I adore this deck, right? I use this for regular readings all the time, and it reads well for me. This was my first time using it as a nighttime deck, and I kept thinking, like, this one, I don't like it as much as I like the other one, the Hero's Journey. But that's not actually true, because I have actually been able to get very deep messages, clear communication from my spirit team on the things that I need to hear in that moment, and also steps that I need to take. And I really feel like implementing this nightly card pull has really helped to elevate my dream work practice. I mean, it just has. It just has. I often wake, voice record my dreams, symbols, messages, and I keep track of them all. And every once in a while, I'll have a really deep one that I need to do a deeper dive into. But yeah, as much as I want to say, like, no, the other deck is better, actually, I've had an amazing time working with this and it did help me level up. And I think the best thing about it is that when you find the card and you look it up in the guidebook, then at the end of the little section, there's a mantra. And so I take that as my intention for sleep. uh, and a lot of people like to set an intention for their day, or, all different kinds of things. But it's also important to set an intention for nighttime, for bed. And this deck has been amazing for that. So, yeah, this is my dream ritual oracle, and it's amazing. The last deck that I worked with was Wisdom of the Sacred Oracle, and I love this deck. I mean, this deck is awesome. Look at the inside. It's just beautiful. The deck is beautiful. The cards are beautiful. It comes with a handout or a little pullout. But the artwork in these cards is incredible. I love the keywords. I love that you can kind of just let your intuition go when you're reading the cards. I don't know why there's a reversal. I do not use reversals, so there's a little snafu there. But this deck is awesome. It reads so well. I used it for live readings and it was incredible. I had a really good time and I received a lot of positive feedback on the readings. So, yeah, this deck has been amazing. I love this. I'm so happy that I added this to the collection. I feel, and I haven't even paired it yet. I just used it, on its own. But this deck pairs so nicely with so many different decks. I mean, look at these colors. They're amazing. The artwork is great. Yeah, it's awesome. I adore it. Yeah, that is the Wisdom of the Sacred Oracle. And there you have it, friends. That is my recap for the month of July. Thank you so much for hanging out with me as I go through my month. I appreciate you. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider. I find that when I'm looking at my analytics, that probably half of the people that watch my videos don't subscribe. So I would encourage you, please help us out, help these smaller channels. Your subscription would mean the world. I appreciate you, and I will see you next time. Bye.